The Autotrader 400 from EchoPark, Atlanta. Welcome into another episode of Auto Bets brought to you by Better and Green. Cannot wait for this race today, guys. I absolutely love Atlanta, one of my favorite tracks here, and I expect a really good race on Sunday afternoon here. Unfortunately, we did not get any practice or qualifying this week with rain, so the order is set based on, I believe, metrics and last week's results. We have Tyler Reddick, Daytona 500 winner Tyler Reddick, sitting on the pole. We cashed a ticket with Reddick last week, 40-1. Failed to give him out on the show. I'm a little disappointed with myself for that, but had a tenth of a unit on Reddick, won 4 units on his outright win there at the end. That was absolutely electric. And the way we attack Daytona is kind of similar to the way that we're going to attack Atlanta here. It's it's not quite Daytona, but it is, very similar. You can get caught up in a big wreck, and you're really just trying to position yourself up front for the win there. Today we're going to go over just a few guys I'm targeting for some outrights. Again, keeping the unit size small on the outrights market. Have a few guys locked in for top 10s as well. Not going to dig into any matchups. All I'm going to say about matchups, if you're looking to bet them this week, is I would not settle for anything that isn't plus money. Excuse me. And I would go, honestly, like plus 120, plus 130, plus 140. I would look for, some higher up prices there because, like I said, it's not Daytona, but it can play out pretty similar to Daytona with the randomness. So, it's, again, not a race where I really want a full card with a bunch of units out there, but I have played more than what I thought I would just because the prices I'm seeing are a little bit crazy. So before I get into the race, guys, if you have not already, please consider subscribing to our YouTube channel. Hit that like button for me as well, and then drop me in the comments below. I really want to know who you guys pick to win this race is. So let me know down below. I'll give you a shout out if you get it right on next week's episode. So really appreciate that, guys. Also, if you've not checked out our website, bettergreen.com, head over there and check that out. We have a lot of free interactive games over there where we give out prizes. We have a monthly leaderboards for our swipe feature, which is completely free. Winner of the month is going to be getting, some premium access or some sort of discount. We're still kind of working out the kinks there, but we give free picks daily. We give premium picks to our premium subscribers. So consider checking that out, guys. We're really proud of it and having a lot of fun over there. It kind of works as a Discord, a website, plenty of different games over there. So check that out. We really appreciate it. But let's look at some guys that I'm targeting in the outright market. First, I guess let's go over, the order here. Like I said, we have Tyler Reddick on the pole. We have Joey Logano joining him on the front line. Ricky Stenhouse, Chase Elliott, third and fourth. We have Brad Keselowski and Zane Smith, followed by Chris Buescher, Riley Herbst, and then closing out the top 10, Bubba Wallace and Josh Berry. And I'm looking at some of the same guys that I was looking at last week for the outrights. I'm not too intrigued by the guys that are super high up there. I'm looking at ScoreBet again. I know you can shop around, get some better prices elsewhere, but Chase Elliott, Ryan Blaney, both 8-1. Not super interested. I found Blaney elsewhere at 10-1, 12-1. I'm a little more interested with him there because he has been so good at Atlanta. But yeah, Joey Logano 10-1. I mean, slight interest, but it's just a little too high for me. Hocevar 12-1 is crazy. I wouldn't touch Hocevar with a 10-foot pole. He raced well here last year in the spring. He finished second. He just finished second in the truck race on Saturday. But he hasn't won a race in the Cup Series. So 12-1, it's just a very tough look, a very tough ask there on Hocevar. I have no interest there. Larson 14-1, not much interest. Cindric 16-1. We're getting there. I don't hate Cindric, but it's no one that I've placed. The guys that I'm looking at are up in that 25-30-1 range. Chris Buescher, I like Buescher here in the Ford. He is 18-1 on score. I locked him in earlier, I think 25-1. But if you can get a 20-1 or better on Buescher, I think he's worth a shot, although he has not won in quite some time. So, it does make it tough to get there on Buescher. Again, I would be playing like 10th of a unit, maybe 2/10 of a unit on these outrights. I like Chase Briscoe again. He is starting near the rear here, but I'm just so high on Briscoe this year. I think he gets himself into victory lane 3 or 4 times. So, this is a track that he can do it on. I like the price. I liked Briscoe in at 22-1. You can actually get him at 30-1 now. So really nice price there on Briscoe. Bubba Wallace, again, he ran very well. He was, arguably the best car at Daytona last week and didn't end up getting the win there. But At 30-1 on Bubba, that's somebody I've locked in. Ricky Stenhouse, he's starting third. He actually has the second best average finish here of the active drivers in 6 races here in the Gen 7 era. He has a 9.7 average finish. He hasn't won the race, but he has a top 5, 4 top 10s, 6 top 20. So he's finished top 20 here every single time that he's raced here in that Gen 7 era. You can get some really nice numbers on Ricky Stenhouse. He's a guy that I'm looking at targeting here this week. We'll get into him a little bit more later. But some other guys I'm looking at here: Alex Bowman, 30-1. Christopher Bell won here last year. You can get him 20-1, which I think is the same price he was at last year here. And then some of the other long shot guys: Ryan Preece, Austin Dillon, Eric Jones, 50-1, 60-1, in that range for those guys. So that's who I'm targeting. Again, I'll probably have maybe a unit spread out amongst a few of those guys. I've already locked in Busher, Bubba, Briscoe, Stenhouse, Bowman. I think that's all that I've locked in so far, but might get a little bit of exposure on Blaney as well. I know he's, his number's not great, but he is pretty dominant here. But that's what I'm looking for an outright. Guys, as far as the top finishes, there are some really nice numbers here. Let's start with Ryan Blaney. You can get him right now on FanDuel at -120 for a top 10. He is absolutely incredible at Atlanta. He's the odds-on favorite for a reason here. In the 6 races in the Gen 7, he does have a 10.8 average finish. He has been wrecked out of a couple of those, but 3 top 5s, 5 top 10s, 5 top 20s. So, the one where he finished outside of the top 20, which I believe was from a wreck, it kind of skews his numbers a little bit, but that is the outlier. We saw him last year just really kind of dominate this race and didn't end up getting the win, but I really like Ryan Blaney at -120. I mean, he's -250 elsewhere on other books. So Ryan Blaney -120, I made that a 2-unit play for a top 10. I think if he races clean today, which I think we're going to see more clean racing with the new playoff style here, I really like Blaney for that top 10. So -120, I couldn't pass that up. Anyone else I would want plus money, but when it's -250 elsewhere, I think the best odds anywhere else were like -162. Couldn't pass up -120 on Ryan Blaney for a top 10. The other guys I'm looking at: Ricky Stenhouse, +190 for a top 10. You can get him anywhere from +160 to +190. I locked that in. Again, he has 4 of his 6 races here in the top 10, 9.7 average finish at this track in the Gen 7 era. So really like Ricky Stenhouse. Again, hoping he can stay clean and race himself into the top 10 once again, starting third. I just can't believe that number on him. And then the last guy I've locked in, just a half unit here, but Michael McDowell at +350. He is starting 20th today, but he is also just a good speedway racer. We saw him do very well. Arguably could have won last week, kind of based on strategy. Stayed out, was the only car not to pit. But gave himself a shot to win at the end there. His average finish in 6 races here is 14.3. Only 2 of those were in the top 10, but at +350, I just couldn't pass that up. I had to put a half unit on it. That too is over at FanDuel. You can get him anywhere plus, I think I saw him as low as like +190. But +350 available, +300, somewhere in that ballpark. So I really like Michael McDowell. Some of the other guys I mentioned for outrights as well, I would look at them for top 10s. But I wouldn't get too crazy here because, like I said, you could get caught up in the big one. And, it is pretty random here at Atlanta. Not quite as much as Daytona, but it can be pretty random. So, guys, that is my breakdown here for the Autotrader 400. Really looking forward to this race. Again, let me know in the comments who you guys are liking. But yeah, the plays I've locked in so far, I've sprinkled the outright board, a lot of the guys that I mentioned, and then I hit Ryan Blaney -120 top 10. That's my favorite bet of the day. Ricky Stenhouse +190 top 10, and then Michael McDowell +350 top 10. Thanks for watching, guys. Enjoy the race today. We'll see you next week for another episode of Auto Bets, brought to you by Better and Green.